Hi everybody, and welcome to David's Garage. Today I am going to be unboxing some new boots that I just got. I'm very excited. These are from Nick's Handmade boots over in Spokane, Washington. I got me some 7-inch boots in tan waxed flesh. Nick's boots, they had this deal where they were trying to offload some of their remaining leathers, and so they had like a lightning ship option, and so I actually ordered these and received them within 4 weeks. So it was super fast from when I ordered these to when I received these, so really happy about that. Alright, so you can see they come with a bottle of Obenuffs, which is labeled as Nick's, but it's Obenuffs. Oh, they give you 2 kilties in the same leather. Got a cool looking sticker. They gave me the checklist of the people who worked on the boot in different departments, and then 1 set of leather laces. So yeah, here they are. You know, these are 7-inch made-to-order boots in tan waxed flesh from the Horween tannery in Chicago. And so if you guys aren't familiar with Nick's, you know, Nick's, they are a P&W boot maker located up in the P&W, the Pacific Northwest. They are in Spokane, Washington. They've been around, I believe, since 1964. So these boots, again, these were built on the classic 55 last. Again, the leather is tan wax flesh from Horween tannery in Chicago. I got a size 10D because that's what I always get in the 55 last in all my P&W boots, and they fit me nicely. I decided to get a 7-inch boot because I don't really like super tall boots, but I wanted to get something a little bit taller than a 6-inch just because, like I said, I'm going to be wearing these. These are going to be my winter boots, so like my snow boots that I'm going to be wearing in like inclement weather during the winter. So that's why I wanted a wax flesh, because it's very weather resistant. I did get a pull loop. The top is just a standard cut top. I did get a celastic toe just to maintain the structure. I just got, you know, hooks and eyes, so it's 4 eyelets, 4 speed hooks, and then a top eyelet right here, so not bad. I did decide to get just brass hardware. I got a Honey Lug Vibram sole. The heel that I got on these was a logger heel, just because I think it looks the best with the 55 last. Those are the specs that I got on this order. So let's talk about this leather. So I've actually talked about this leather quite a bit. This is Horween's wax flesh. It's just in a different color. I have the olive wax flesh in Truman's. I did have the Java wax flesh in my Truman Upland boots, but I really like this wax flesh just because it's got this really thick layer of wax that just really makes this leather super weather resistant, super simple and easy to take care of. And so that's why I wanted to get like a winter boot in this leather. If you guys don't know Horween, you know, Horween, they are probably the most well-known tannery in like the heritage boot world, or probably just the leather world, just because they make Chrome XL. Chrome XL is leather that you've probably seen everywhere. It's probably the most popular heritage leather in the world. So you see, this is the inside of the leather. That is natural Chrome XL. This is actually the rough outside. It looks smooth, but that's because they take, you know, like glass plates, I believe, and they press tons of wax into the leather to smooth it out, give it this nice finish. And if you've seen any like pictures of people who have wax flesh boots and they've worn them for quite a bit, you know, it can develop a really nice nap and patina, because as this top layer wears off, the lighter color will actually start to show through in the nap, and it'll give it a cool look, you know, give it a nice patina. But I will tell you this, in my experience, this wax layer, it does not come off easily. You really have to beat it up and work it a lot in order to actually wear off this top layer. So since this is basically just Chrome XL, you know, it's a combination tan leather, so it starts off as chrome tanned, then Horween does a veg retan on it, and then, yeah, like I said, you know, they take the rough out and press tons of wax into it to give it this smooth finish. So like I said, this leather, it is pretty weather resistant. You really don't have to do anything to take care of this leather. Once the wax layer starts to wear off a lot, you can take Venetian shoe cream and, you know, reapply a nice thick layer of wax, or Venetian leather balm, because I believe Venetian leather balm is a little bit more waxy than, say, shoe cream. And I'm almost positive that Horween uses Venetian shoe cream to actually finish this layer of wax. But I could be wrong. If you guys know anything differently, let me know down in the comments. And so let's see, and some more about this leather. You know, Chrome XL, in my opinion, it does not have a high temper. It's got a really nice temper where it's got a good amount of body. It will take a little bit of break-in, but for me, in my experience, Chrome XL is just a really nice malleable leather. You know, it's very comfy, very quickly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to, you know, wearing these in the winter and, you know, wearing these for work and beating them up. You can see this leather is just about just over 2.8 millimeters thick. That's actually a really good amount of thickness. All right, so let's talk about the last. So this 55 last, if you guys aren't familiar with P&W boots, Pacific Northwest boots like White's, like Frank's, JK's, I'm almost positive that White's, Nick's, and Frank's all use the same 55 last. So the 55 last, it has been around for an extremely long time, and it is very well known for having significant arch support. So they build up this arch right here. They give it this heel, which also helps enunciate that arch, but they build it up here with lots of layers of leather in there to really give you a good amount of arch support. When you first start wearing these, when you first start wearing boots that are built on the 55 last, they should feel like you're almost standing on like a ladder rung. As you wear them more and more, that arch support, that leather that's right there, it'll actually break down more and more into your foot shape. And so it won't be as enunciated when you first start wearing them, but as you wear them more and more, it should really mold into your foot shape. And I really like the arch support. Some people, they prefer arch support that's not as pronounced. If you don't like really high arches, then maybe you shouldn't get the 55 last. Also, the 55 last, you can see it's got kind of like a taper here on the toe box. So it's not the most roomy toe box. For me, I know that my foot fits this last really nicely, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so you can see that these boots, they have 2 rows of stitching right here. And so Nick's, they build their boots with double row stitch down construction. So that just means that the uppers leather, you can see, is just folded out there, and it's stitched down to this midsole. It looks like they got a rubber slip sole and then this rubber outsole. Double row stitch down construction, or just stitch down construction in general, it is very durable. It's very simple, but very durable. The only thing you want to really worry about or focus on is that if you do get these resoled, whoever you take it to, they're going to have to remove these stitches. And then once they reapply the outsole, or whenever they reapply these stitches, they're going to have to make sure that they, you know, hit these same stitch holes in the uppers leather, because if they don't, and over time, the uppers leather here can just turn into Swiss cheese. And then once this is destroyed, you know, the boot's pretty much done. You'd have to pay for a rebuild, which, you know, they have to remove this vamp leather and put in a new one, which it's, you know, Nick's does that if that's something that you need. So it's just more expensive. Let's see, the sole. So again, this sole is the Vibram Honey Lug sole. This is the V100 Honey Lug. It's the compound, it's a little bit softer than the standard black compound on like the standard V100. And I like this softer rubber just because it definitely makes it a little bit more comfy, a little bit more cushioned. It will definitely wear out a little bit faster, but it's still gonna last an extremely long time. You see how thick those treads are, how deep those lugs are. And this softer rubber should actually give me a little bit better grip in the winter months, the inclement weather, because softer rubber is just a little bit more grippy. You can see Nick's, they use lots and lots of leather. You have leather heel stack, you have a rubber slip sole, and then a thick leather midsole. And then they do use a leather shank which is very thick and beefy. And then inside the boot, let's see if you can see it, but they have a half sock liner and a thick veg tan insole. So lots and lots and lots of leather underfoot. It's gonna take a long time to break in all this leather. It's not for the faint of heart. So if you haven't worn a thick chunky boot with this much leather, it could be a little intense the first time you wear a P&W boot, but this construction, this durability that Nix uses, that the P&W boot makers use, it's overkill for most people. Like, it's definitely overkill for my job, but I like it. I like knowing that my boots are basically bulletproof. I love that they're extremely durable, that they're tanks, that they're gonna last me a lifetime. You know, let me know what you guys think, but I think the P&W boots, I think their pricing is more than fair. I don't think they're like extremely expensive. I know that the finishing cannot be the greatest. It's not like Viberg levels or Grandstone levels of finishing, but I've never had a really bad experience with the finishing. Like, I think these look awesome. I think these look great, and you know, for the price, for the durability, and overall quality, I think these are very fairly priced. You can see it is a fully gusseted tongue. So they don't use, Nix does not use the same leather for the tongue leather. They use a soft chrome tan leather. It's still pretty thick, so it's definitely gonna last a long time. In order to make the break-in a little bit easier on their boots, they use a chrome tan leather that's softer, more malleable. But I also like that it's gusseted all the way up. So it really helps keep water and debris out of your boot. The hardware, it's all brass hardware. It is these really sturdy studs for the speed hooks. They don't use like these folded metal speed hooks that like Red Wing uses. They use these really thick, sturdy studs. Heel counter, it is a thick veg tan heel counter. And then also the vamp is leather lined. So it's got another layer of lining, or another layer of leather here on the vamp on the inside, but you can see that the quarters are unlined. So definitely helps with breathability. So that's nice. I like that. I like the way that Nix constructs their boots. I really do like this overall construction style and their design. Stitching. You can see that Nix uses 3 rows of stitching here on this heel counter cover. And Nix uses 4 rows of stitching here on the quarters and the vamp. You can see that's the 2-piece backstay. This heel is from, let's see, from the outsole down. These heels are, over 1.5 inches. So that's pretty tall. And then if we went from the top of the midsole all the way down, that's exactly 2 inches. Okay, and let's look at this midsole. So this midsole is, let's see, midsole is 3 millimeters thick. From the inside of the boot, it is 6 3/4 inches tall. But if we measure from the outside, it is exactly 7 inches tall on the outside, from the very top to the top of the midsole. So if you've seen my other videos on my Pacific Northwest boots or my Nix boots, you'll know that I think that this overall build quality is phenomenal. I don't see any real like quality control or finishing issues. I mean, I think this overall build quality is just really just top notch. These boots are tanks. They're gonna last forever. You can beat these up. You can take these into battle and these boots will serve you well. So I think that my overall impressions of this build quality is just, it's phenomenal. And then for the price, I don't think these are overpriced. I think that for everything that you're getting, the customization options, I think it's a really good price. All right, so let's try these bad boys on. All right, so here they are. They fit perfectly, just like I knew they would. I am a 10.5D on the Brannock, so I wear a 10D in my Iron Rangers, my Truman boots on the 20 last and the 79 last. I get a 10 in Parkhurst, and in all my P&W boots, I've gotten a 10D. And I have other boots on the 55 last, and I know that 10D fits me great. So these fit really nicely. My foot is definitely not squished in the toe box, so the toe box does fit my foot pretty good. arch support is awesome, but these arches definitely don't feel as pronounced as the arches on the Drew's modified 55 last, but still definitely has a really good amount of arch support. So very high arches. As I wear these, it'll probably take maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 months to really fully break these boots in. But you know, I really do like having all that leather underfoot. I like having that arch support. It makes my foot feel more comfortable and relaxed throughout the day. NYX, they offer other lasts that don't have really high arches, like I believe the HNW and the Thurman NW. Those don't have high arches. So, you know, high arch, if your foot is bothered by high arches, then yeah, I would say probably avoid the 55 last or even the 67 last, because I know that has high arches as well. Overall comfort, I mean, I love them. I mean, they're super stiff. They're really stiff because there's so much leather underfoot. As I wear these, I don't expect the uppers to give me any troubles at all in terms of break-in. All the break-in is going to be that, you know, that insole, midsole, leather shank. That's where all the breaking in is really gonna need lots of time. And so hopefully, like I said, as I wear these for 2, 3, 4 months, they're gonna get more and more comfortable, and they're gonna, you know, the footbed and the arch is gonna break into my foot shape. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So overall comfort, you know, it's super stiff, but that's what leather is. You know, as you wear leather more and more, it'll break into your foot shape. It'll be more comfortable. You have to really put in the time and the work to really break in a hefty leather footbed. So do I have any concerns? No, I don't have any concerns. I think these are going to be awesome winter boots. I'm really looking forward to wearing these and beating these up into the winter. You know, I definitely wanted a nice, good quality boot that I can wear in, you know, really deep snow when I'm shoveling snow on the driveway, and I don't have to worry about snow getting into my boots. So I'm excited. I'm really happy with these. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys, have you guys tried Pacific Northwest boots before? Do you prefer whites over NYX or Franks or Westco or any of the other PNW boot makers? You know, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. That's everything I really have for you guys today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.